Okay, so as you probably just heard and were just prompted, the remainder of today, so we have Carrie Briscoe who will be presenting, and we're going to be recording this. So this next session will be available on the ESS website post-event. So up next, I'd like to introduce everyone to our next guest speaker, Carrie Briscoe from Schlegel-UW Research Institute for Aging. Carrie has an extensive, like when I mean extensive, very, very long history as a recreational therapist and holds a master's in recreation and leisure. She currently is an educational specialist and facilitator at the RIA to promote education and awareness for the Living with Dementia Journey and Choice Plus programs, as well as so many other aspects in research and program development. I've had the pleasure of working alongside Carrie, and the amount of passion she has, and just like super mom over here, she'll be doing workshops and her kids are just like beside her all the time, and she's able to manage both things at the same time. It's incredible. So in this presentation, Carrie's going to be speaking about the Mary Alzheimer Research and Education Program, or MARA, which is a collaborative research and education program that works with people living with dementia, care partners, health and social care providers, and community members to enhance the well-being of individuals impacted by dementia. This presentation will highlight one of MARAB's resources, the By Us, For Us guides, which were designed by people living with dementia and care partners to help enhance their well-being. And I think, Carrie, you'll also mention this as well, but we would like to see so many of your faces. There are so many of us here right now. So if you feel comfortable, please feel free to turn on your cameras. So with that, Carrie, the floor is yours.
Thanks, Jamie. You're making me blush. I'm like sweating over here now. So nice. Yes, no children, hopefully. I don't think they'll be able to find me. I am at the office today. But yes, sometimes, working from home, or if you have a sick kid, that's what happens. So yes, thank you for the introduction. That was lovely. Hi, nice to meet you, everyone. My name is Carrie Briscoe, as mentioned before. Excited to see some more faces, maybe. I know everyone's been kind of in the background, but wow, that was like some amazing engagement from the last one in the chat. So I hope you're ready for mine, because I do like to engage in some activities, as that's what we do as facilitators. And yes, Jamie and I work together, facilitating the Living the Dementia Journey program, which is something else I will talk about as well. So it's fun. Thank you for having me, Jamie, and everyone at ESS Support Services. All right. So again, I'm going to be talking about MARAP, as mentioned, the Murray Alzheimer Research and Education Program, as well as specifically a little bit about what our By Us, For Us guides are, how they were developed, what some of them look like. I won't have time to go into all of them, but I will highlight a little bit for you so you can get an understanding of what they are. So a little bit about me. Oh, before I begin about me, I wanted to actually thank the co-presenters of this 2-day summit. It's been really, really amazing listening to all the different things that are going on. So I know they're not really here, but if you remember yesterday, Rebecca Churcher talked about the Green Care Farms and creating those safe spaces and empowering people living with dementia. I think one of the best things I took away from hers was that quote that said, "People feel more alive when they're surrounded by living things." And I was just, my recreation background heart just really loved that. Amanda Jewson from Rest My Best talked about sleep hygiene. Did you have a good sleep last night after that? I hope so. Some really helpful tips I took away. I think we all can, even if we don't always deal with insomnia. We have, sleep issues of our own at times. So that was really great. And knowing that counting sheep doesn't actually work. So that's a really common misunderstanding, right? I don't do it, but it's good to know. I won't recommend it to anyone. And then thanks to Vera, who just went before me with that really, really important discussion about burnout and self-compassion and those techniques and that really beautiful mindfulness activity. In our workshops, Jamie and I and our colleagues talk a little tiny bit about this. And we always use the analogy of, how you're on an airplane and when they're talking about all the safety features, they say, if you're supporting another person and the oxygen masks drop, you need to put yours on before you help another person. And so we always talk about that and how you need to be able to breathe too. And so I think she spoke really well to that, and that was really nice to listen to. Okay, so I just wanted to shout out to those because I think they were really wonderful presentations. So yeah, again, I work as an education specialist at the Schlegel-UW Research Institute for Aging. I currently facilitate workshops such as the Living the Dementia Journey. And also I'm about to pilot one of our brand new workshops, which is called One Day, and it's focused on person-centered culture. And I'm also involved in a few other culture change projects at the RIA. My previous education experience is that I have a bachelor's degree in therapeutic recreation from the University of Waterloo, as well as a master's degree in recreation and leisure studies. And my work and practice is mostly in long-term care, but some community as well, and also some research work with MAREP, who I'll talk about today, and also the Partnerships in Dementia Care Alliance. And prior to facilitating, I did some teaching, sessional teaching at the University of Waterloo in the Recreation and Leisure Studies Department. So I wanted to say thank you to the team at ESS Sports Services for inviting me here today. I'm very honored and super excited to be here. And to all of you who are here, have taken the time out of your busy schedules, your busy lives to listen to this presentation. And I'm glad I can see more of you. This is wonderful. I'm not very good at speaking to names. So really, hi Allison, thanks for the wave. So I'm glad that you're here and you're wanting to join me. Understandable though, not everyone can turn their cameras off if it's personal reasons or you're at a busy office or something. So I respect that as well, but hopefully you'll still engage a little bit with me today. So one of the things we like to do in our workshops is to do some virtual activities. So I'm going to start off the day, again, a true wrecker would, with an icebreaker. And I'm going to use a program called Menti. So if you're not familiar with it, hopefully I can give some good instructions, but feel free to put your hand up if you're like, I don't know what you're talking about. Or we are very open for you to just continue participating in the chat, because that seemed to go really, really well for the last presentation. But Menti is fun because it gives a nice visual. So we're going to talk about the good life. Doesn't this person look like they're having a really good life? I thought it just makes me smile every time I see this photo. Okay, so I'm going to head over to Menti. So what you're going to do on your, actually the best way to participate with this is to use a cell phone or a tablet or something. So if you have that on you, I'm actually telling you, you can bring out your phone. Just don't get distracted by using it and find, Instagram or your email or something. So you're going to head to your browser, whatever you use, and you're going to go to menti.com. So it says it on the screen as well, menti.com. I'm going to go along with you to make sure it's working. I know my support over here with Cynthia, Jamie, maybe Allison, if you're joining as well, are going to jump in too. And then you're going to be asked to add this code. I know, sorry, it's a little long, but this 8-digit code. So it's 29421292. That's a lot of twos. And then you're just going to click submit. And once you do that, it will say instructions and it'll have a little green thumbs up. So if you're on and you're ready to go, if you can tap that green thumbs up, then I will know that you are ready. You can also, if you're familiar with QR codes, you can use that. The last thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add a link, I think, hopefully. Oh, thanks, Cynthia. Cynthia added the information in the chat. And there's the link as well. That'll also just take you directly to it if that works for you. Okay, any questions before we start with Menti? And again, if you don't even want to participate, that's fine. You can just watch, or you can also type in the chat and we'll try to either read it out or we'll add it to the Menti, if that makes sense. Okay, I think we're good. I've got 21 thumbs up, so that sounds great. Okay, so here's my first question for you. And this is just a check-in. So which emoji represents your current mood? Are you feeling kind of with those love eyes, which doesn't have to always be romantic, just so you know. Maybe you're feeling really positive towards the subject. I don't know. Are you sleepy? So that person's kind of fallen asleep or feeling sleepy. Are you angry or frustrated? Are you just generally feeling happy today? And maybe the last one is kind of a thinking, pondering, questioning, deep thought, kind of what's this going to be about, Carrie? So maybe that's your mood as well. Okay, mostly we have some happy people. Great. I'm very happy to see that. We have one in the chat. Let me pop that over. Anna's a 7. Which one's 7? Do you mean the pondering one? Number 5? Or maybe or I should have put an other, shouldn't I have? Is there an other that you feel? All right, okay. Oh, we have a like. Thank you for liking this activity. Okay, so I've got about 22 of you who have checked in with me. No worries, no worries. Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go to the next one. I wanted to get to know you a little. I know it's hard with this kind of format, virtual, and I don't know any of you, so I'm curious, with this presentation, what do you identify as most? Do you feel that you're an older adult? Are you a person living with dementia? Are you a care partner? Are you a team member? So, you know, whether it's within community or within like a long-term care or retirement setting, or is it an other? Did I miss something? So, and I believe, provided opportunity to put multiple, because I know you could be multiple, right? So here they are coming in. This is fun.
And then, Carrie, for those who are not familiar with the term, can you clarify what a care partner is?
Oh, yeah, for sure. Thank you. We often at the RIA use the term care partner instead of caregiver, family member. It's just broad and more inclusive. We really emphasize the importance of the partnership within the relationship. So it's not just that unidirectional, you know, I'm a care partner providing care for you. It's that relationship, and both people within are really important. So that's why we use the term care partner. Thank you. Thanks for asking or clarifying. Maybe Anna says other volunteer. Okay, I did miss one. Good to know for next time. Care and home of my mom. Lovely. Other. Okay. Care partner. Not other. Sorry. Oh, that's okay. No worries. Okay, great. This is just mostly, well, it's nice to know who's in the room for you as well. But also nice for me to know who I am chatting to. So mostly we have team members in the room, and that is great. Okay. All right. This is the fun question that goes back to that person on the screen who had the ice cream. So this is an opportunity for you to type a little bit of a response. So those of you who aren't writing on Menti, feel free to type it in the chat and we'll add it on because we're going to create a word cloud. So what do you need to live a good life? So you have the opportunity to submit up to 3 words. So try to summarize this thing in 1 word, whether it's, you know, a family, your dog, nature, religion, etc. And Jamie or Cynthia, let me know if there's more in the chat that you can't type in, and I'll add them in. So I think we can only add 3 each. So I know it works so well. Ooh, this is good. Colorful word cloud. Okay, I'm just going to start reading them from the chat too, because they're a good one. Care of your grandchildren, 2 and 4. Oh, that's nice. I have a 4 and 6-year-old now. I'm getting sad at how big they're getting, but it's also really fun. Connection, good health, social interactions, and family. Financial security. Yeah, we talk about that, right, Jamie, in our workshops. Money. You need money, don't you? Fortunately, some money. You don't have to have tons. Family, coffee. Nice, Robin. We had that conversation in the last session. Okay, and I'm not sure I'll be able to read all these, but there's some really great ones. We have family, good health, love, friends that are all kind of bigger. That means they've been typed in multiple times by multiple people. So safe environment, health, my own and my family. Oh, so everyone's health. That's great. Social interactions, understanding, travel. Dawn. Oh, I love that one. I'll tell you, I think I know who put that one. Bree and Finn. Okay. I don't know who that is, but that's great. Could be kids, could be friends, not sure. Physically, health, gardening, cooperation, financial security, resources, faith, aging gracefully. Ooh, these are great. Laughter, music. It keeps moving, so I can't read them all. Oh, but what a wonderful word cloud. Okay, thank you so much, everyone, for adding into that and making that so rich with color and some beautiful words in there. Okay, so for now, put your Menti aside. Oh, wait, we have more chat ones. Yeah, yeah, I knew it. Mary Beth put Dawn. See, you can see it in the chat. Oh, and Mary Beth, you have a cat. Hello, kitty. We had another cat show up, right, Jamie? Yeah, someone else had a cat. That person's not showing their cat.
I think whenever we have workshops, we always take the time to ask people to see their pets.
Well, because we're often in people's homes, so it's fun. And sometimes I'm at home, so I can show my pet too. I have a dog. But teeth to eat food. Good one. Really specific. I like that. Family, Buddha Sangha, health. I have guinea pigs. Cool. We always wonder what's the most interesting one that we will see in an online forum. All right, thank you so much. Let's head back to the presentation. Okay, I can still see you all, so feel free to show your faces. All right. Okay, so a little bit of the plan for today. I'm going to talk about what is the RIA. I mentioned it already. It's on my shirt. It's on the slide. So we'll go into a little bit about what we do here at the RIA. And then what's MAREP? We really like acronyms, don't we? And then what is co-design? So the importance of something that we really value at the RIA. And then what are those by us, for us guides? And before we begin, I wanted to take a moment to do a little land acknowledgement for us as our location within the Waterloo region. So the Schlegel-UW Research Institute for Aging acknowledges that we are on the traditional territory of the Attawandaron, Anishinaabe, and Haudenosaunee peoples. The RIA is situated on the Haldeman Tract, the land promised to the Six Nations that includes 6 miles on each side of the Grand River. We also want to acknowledge there are many other nations, and we want to acknowledge those today here on the call. Okay, so what is the RIA? So the Schlegel-UW Research Institute for Aging is a charitable nonprofit foundation. As a nonprofit organization, the RIA's mission is to enhance care and quality of life for older adults through partnerships in research, education, and practice. The RIA supports research and explores aging across various topics, including dementia, technology, culture change, nutrition, heart health, and spirituality. We engage stakeholders throughout the research process and use research findings to co-design resources, programs, education, and training. Ultimately, we inform practice and policy change to enhance quality of life for older adults everywhere. The RIA is committed to knowledge mobilization, which we define simply as the process by which research and the real world connect to each other. On average, it takes about 17 years for evidence to be translated into practice, and then only 14% of that research evidence even enters the day-to-day practice. Our model for innovation is designed to bring research to practice more often and more quickly by working at the intersection of research, education, and practice. These successes are then adapted to different settings and contexts and shared to benefit older adults everywhere. To accomplish this, we use a model of incubation, acceleration, and mobilization, made possible by our infrastructure and partnerships. So incubation is there, the first one, discovering and developing new ways of doing things and trialing these innovations on a small scale. Acceleration is trialing innovations in additional or new settings to understand how and why they work. And then mobilization is sharing what we've learned. We share the innovations that make a difference to benefit older adults. And this is our partnership approach. So our success in bringing together research and education and practice is made possible through our strategic partnerships. So we have these 3 core partnerships but we also partner with many other academic institutions and organizations. So the first is the University of Waterloo, hence why we're called UW in our name. We focus on applied research that is directly relevant to care and quality of life for older adults. Our research team is over 50 strong, including 9 Schlegel research chairs, 4 Schlegel specialists, and 20 affiliated researchers and a staff team of 25. Next in education is Conestoga College. So this partnership focuses on enhancing the workforce through evidence-based education, including both entry to practice education and ongoing training for those already working with older adults. And then finally, our partnership with Schlegel Villages. Schlegel Villages is family-owned and operated and includes 19 and counting continuum of care villages, including independent living through to long-term care. In total, there are about 4,500 residents and 5,000 team members. Older adults can age in place through a full continuum of care and living, and the organization supports a social model of living. And together we are building a culture that embraces research and innovation. So this is where we are located. And so because we believe in this collaborative effort, we are within the Center of Excellence for Innovation and Aging. So the center, the purpose is a purpose-built hub for collaboration and a vibrant community that integrates senior living with research, education, and community services. It's located on the North Campus of the University of Waterloo and was founded in 2015. The center has become home of the RIA and over 400 older adults that live in a senior living campus operated by Schlegel Villages. The center also houses state-of-the-art research labs, a living classroom in partnership with Conestoga College, additional classroom and training spaces, a medical clinic, adult day programs, and a growing number of other community services. The RIA leads the center's strategy for innovation, connecting learnings from the hub within the RIA's network of researchers and partners across the country and around the globe to enhance care and quality of life for older adults everywhere. Here is a nice wall of our RIA researchers. So the RIA works with a growing team of Schlegel chairs and specialists shown here. They explore aging across different areas, again, including dementia, food and nutrition, arts, heart and brain health, mobility, spirituality, and more. These researchers work with different researchers across Canada and around the world as well. The researchers are supported by a team of over 50 staff members who also work at the RIA. And lastly, these are the key areas of impact for the RIA. So the first is dementia. So leading national knowledge mobilization and research initiatives focused on living well with dementia. We have the Dementia Knowledge Hub, which facilitates collaboration and optimizes the impact of community-based projects across the country that are funded under the Dementia Community Investment. And then we have Dementia Surveillance System, which is enhancing the National Dementia Data System to improve our understanding of dementia and its progression. And both of these projects are funded by the Public Health Agency of Canada. Culture change, so we co-lead culture change, Canada's culture change movement, Walk With Me, and mobilizing resources to transform senior living. Walk With Me is a national movement to challenge ageism and drive culture change. So every 2 years, we co-host a conference building together researchers, policymakers, healthcare professionals, older adults, and families to learn with and from each other. I'm actually privileged to be able to be part of the executive planning committee right now for Walk With Me, so stay tuned for May 2024. The RIA has a number of resources to support transformation in senior living, including culture change coaching services to support organizations who want to move away from those medical models of care and towards more of a social model of living. Workforce development, so we're building system capacity and workforce preparedness by mobilizing experiential education for the senior living sector. And the Ontario Centres for Learning, Research and Innovation in Long-Term Care, also known as the CLRI, at the RIA, develops, delivers, and evaluates educational resources and programs to train the current and future long-term care workforce. The CLRI is funded by the Government of Ontario. Second last is technology. So we're exploring how existing and new technologies can better support older adults to live fully, and exploring technology-enabled senior living. And then finally, co-design, which I'll speak a little bit to as well, which is making meaningful change by engaging stakeholders throughout the research process and in the creation of resources, programs, education, and training. Okay, that was a lot of info. What is MAREP now? So this is specifically what I'm going to talk about today, and then one of the projects or initiatives, which is the Bias Forest Guides. So MAREP is one of our signature programs, and it's the Murray Alzheimer Research and Education Program. It's a collaborative program that aims to enhance the well-being of individuals impacted by dementia, including people living with dementia, care partners, healthcare providers, and community members. Founded in 1993 by Kenneth Murray, that's why it's called Murray Alzheimer's. The program originated at the University of Waterloo and has moved to the Schlegel-UW Research Institute for Aging in 2018. Kenneth Murray, whose experience as a care partner for his late wife, Helen, inspired him to support a research and education initiative that improves the quality of life of people living with dementia and their care partners. And MAREP's guiding philosophy. So people living with dementia must be meaningfully involved in decisions affecting their well-being. Makes sense, right? Another one is that we work with rather than for people living with dementia. People living with dementia continue to grow, learn, and make valuable contributions to their lives. Understanding dementia requires learning about dementia from the perspective of individuals with true lived experience. So understanding it from them and from care partners. And strong relationships are fundamental to enhancing the well-being of individuals impacted by dementia. Okay, I did mention this, and this is what I mentioned Jamie and I facilitate along with a number of other RIA facilitators. And that's one of MAREP's main programs is the Living the Dementia Journey program. So this was co-created in 2013 by MAREP in partnership with a diverse advisory team of residents, family members, and team members from Schlegel villages. Living the Dementia Journey is an award-winning, evidence-informed training program for those who support people living with dementia. Learners gain awareness and understanding that changes not only the way they view dementia, but the way they support people living with it. So this is a full day training or workshop, I should say, or sometimes facilitators will split it into 2 half days. We tend to facilitate it in 1 day. And it takes you through 6 modules that all stand for the living acronym, but really emphasizing the importance of living and living well with dementia. And so, yeah, we recommend it. So the website's there if you wanted to learn a little bit more of that. If you had any questions at the end, feel free to ask away. Okay, and then lastly, before I jump into the Bias Forest Guides, what is co-design and why is it important? So co-design is really rooted in that authentic partnership approach. The authentic partnership approach is particularly significant for marginalized individuals and groups whose voices and lived experiences have historically been excluded or overlooked in research, including older adults, long-term care and retirement home residents, and people living with dementia. Co-design is the meaningful involvement of partners, including those with lived experience, in priority setting and or the development, design, conduct, implementation, and knowledge mobilization of research, education, programs, and resources to increase the quality, relevance, uptake, and impact of the findings, knowledge, or product. So really saying it's not the top-down mandate, right? It's a very collaborative approach when we really want to hear it from people who are truly living those experiences as well. Another example I like to give, again, I mentioned that we're about to launch in the next few months our new workshop, which is called One Day, and it's focused on person-centered culture. And that was created through co-design. So we had an advisory team of all different perspectives, of course, including residents within care settings, and that throughout the process of creating the content, going through, having the ideas, and their quotes and things are like interwoven into the workshop as well. Same as Living the Dementia Journey. So it's really coming from the voices of people with lived experience, not from your even though I talked a lot about our amazing researchers, it's not those people at the top saying this is what you should be doing. It's a very collaborative voice. And that's the importance of co-design. And then in terms of having these guiding principles, which are written up on the screen there, the genuine regard for self and others, synergistic relationships, and focus on the process. These guiding principles can be achieved through 5 enablers of authentic partnership approach. So of course, connecting and committing. Projects should bring together a diverse group of collaborators and commit to mutually agreed upon goal of both the project and the partnership. The second is creating a safe space. So project teams should provide an emotionally and physically supportive space and build trust in their relationships with collaborators. The third is value diverse perspectives. So the project team should value and act on the collaborators' insights and view differences as opportunities. The fourth is establish and maintain open communication. So the project team should use various communication methods, longer timelines, and accessible language when co-designing. And then finally, conduct regular reflection and dialogue. So throughout the project, project teams should regularly reflect on whether they are successfully building authentic partnerships with collaborators. So co-design does take longer, but in the long run, it's the most important way to do it. We feel engaging together and having all those perspectives. Okay, if you have any questions, I'm going to check in before I jump into the guides. And feel free to throw them in the chat if they pop up at all. I'll try to pay attention to it. Okay. Okay, I don't see anything or any waving hands. So, okay, the Bias Forest Guides. So another one of MAREP's initiatives is the Bias Forest Guides, which you're probably like, okay, let's chat about these, which is going to be the main focus of the remainder of this presentation. I'm wondering, show of hands or put it in the chat maybe. How many of you have heard about the Bias Forest Guides? Mary Beth, Jamie, Dawn, obviously. Oh, there we go. Nice. Ooh, virtual hands. I like it. How about our others? Anyone else heard of the Bias Forest Guides? No. Okay, that's good. I hope I can answer your questions then. Okay, so then not many people have heard of them. My next question was going to say, how many are using the guides? So the answer is going to be no, not applicable maybe. Okay, great. Thank you, everyone. Okay, so the inspiration behind the Bias Forest Guide. So this is Brenda Hoonan, and she was diagnosed with Alzheimer's disease at the age of 53. And she realized then that there was very little information available for people living with dementia. The dominant view at the time was that people living with dementia could no longer learn or be involved in their own care. And Brenda knew differently and was inspired to address this gap to develop a series of resources specifically designed by and for people living with dementia. In 2004, Brenda connected with various people living with dementia from all around Ontario and MAREP. So reached out to MAREP to work on what came to be called the By Us, For Us guides. The individuals that helped develop the original guides recognized that people living with dementia not only understood the experience of living with dementia, but also had other life experiences and skills that they brought to the group. In other words, their lived experience included all aspects of their life, not just their dementia. This meant that everyone involved had important contributions that they could make to all aspects of the guides, including the content, the layout, and even the graphics. So again, the Bias Forest Guides are designed to provide people living with dementia and care partners the necessary tools to enhance their well-being and manage daily challenges. What makes these guides unique is that they are created by people living with dementia and care partners, and for people living with dementia and care partners. So right now, as of today, we have 15 guides. We've got them all here. See? They're not very thick, so not overwhelming. You know, sometimes you get this big book and you're like a textbook and you're like, okay, that's going to take a while for me to read. So very accessible, very, very a nice resource to have. I did put the prices up there, not trying to sell you, just thought this might come up as a question. So I thought I'd throw it on there. So they are $5 each if you wanted like a hard copy like this. Or if you buy all 15, you get a great deal of $50 total. However, they're also free for download on our website. So if you go to the-ria.ca and in resources, you'll find the bias forest guides. Again, this is on the slides at the end as well. So the 15 guides are put into 3 unique series. So the first set is, so series number 1 is the persons with dementia series, so the individual. The second series is the partnership series, so that's both the individual and care partners. And then the third series is the partner in care, which is the care partner supporting the individual. So you can see that there's guides for people living with dementia, there's guides for care partners, and then there's guides for both. And I will tell you all about them. Okay, here's where I confess that I had a chat with someone on this call. So you'll see Dawn Baxter is here. You want to give a wave, Dawn? There she is. And her life partner, Mary Beth Whiten, is here as well. So I had been chatting with Dawn through email, and she gave this quote, and I said, I need to use it. It's amazing. And this is true from their experience. So Mary Beth Whiten is a person living with dementia. Living well with dementia, right? Always says and emphasizes. And Dawn Baxter is her care partner / life partner. So, and Dawn said to me, she said, these guides were and are our saving grace. They should be in every single doctor's office, clinic, hospital, et cetera, everywhere, and given to those with dementia and any of their care partners in care. I definitely agree. I think a lot of our partners would agree as well. And what an interesting thing to say, right? Right when a person gets a diagnosis, maybe even in that doctor's office, right? Here's some resources, because you often leave and now what, right? And as we know from the stigma around dementia, there's not a lot of knowledge out there. There's a lot of uncertainty, and there's a lot of tragic discourse. So having these guides somewhere like that, I agree, would be really amazing. So Mary Beth and Dawn are both lived experience facilitators for BSO, Behavioral Sports Ontario. So thank you for coming today. It's really nice to see you and meet you again. It's been years. I was telling Dawn that a long time. Okay, so here are the guides. This is the first series. So this chunk that I have, So we have, I won't hold them all up because they're on the screen. So we have the first guide that was developed is the memory workout guide. Second is managing triggers. Then there's enhancing wellness, which is a guide I will dive a little bit deeper into today. Young onset dementia, enhancing communication, tips and strategies, and living and celebrating life through leisure. Of course, being a rec and leisure person, I'm going to also discuss that one today. Something in the chat. Oh, thank you. Perfect. Someone put the resource in the chat for me. Thank you. Is it Nyasha? Thank you so much. That's so helpful. Yeah. Right. So you can click that link if you want to check it out now. So I did want to also comment that Mary Beth and Dawn were also collaborators on some of the guides in terms of the refresh team. So we have had in 2020, we had all the guides kind of go through a refresh and were redeveloped and using a number of different teams. So Mary Beth and Dawn were part of the teams for enhancing communication, managing triggers, young onset dementia, and then I'll mention the next one, but it's in the next series that they helped with the development of. So those were more of the refreshes. So thank you for your contributions to that. So here's our second series. This is the partnership series with this chunk. So the first one is food and mealtime, living safely, safety when out and about, living and transforming with loss and grief. And then our newest guide that was just developed in 2021, which we had Mary Beth and Dawn be part of the development team for, is the isolation and enhancing social connections. So this one's brand new. And we have some really great art on these that are part of our collaborators as well. And then we started a young care series. So we have a guide that is called Support Matters for Young Carers. So lots of diversity, because we know that everyone's experience and their background and who they are is different for people living with dementia. So it's helpful to have all these different options. Oh, thank you, Mary Beth. Yes, that one was developed during COVID. So it's interesting that we could still continue that, right? But virtual can be tricky as well. Okay, and then the last series we have, sorry, there we go, is series 3. So this one's a little bit smaller. We just have 2 right now, which is the Partner in Care series. So the first one is rural health and well-being, and then before and early diagnosis. So those are the guides. Hopefully I showed you them all right. I thought it'd be nice to see like the physical book, because sometimes you might think this is, like I said, going to be a giant textbook. And again, you can access them online to give them a read, but really accessible, really great, like useful language, lots of resources, lots of tips, things that you can do now, spaces to write in them. So really, really great resources. That's why I'm here talking about them. Okay, I have another quote from a person living with dementia saying that these guides are the best information possible for somebody with dementia to read. So, you know, not always creating these resources for people with dementia that are going to use themselves. And so I thought that was a really, really powerful, meaningful quote to share as well. Dawn says they're amazing. Oh, Allison quotes says, looks like excellent resources. And Dawn said they're amazing. Thank you so much. Okay, so I'm going to take a moment to dive, as I said, into 2 of the guides. I do not have time to do all of them today. I wish, but let you do that at your leisure. The first one I'm going to talk about is enhancing wellness. So we talked a little bit about wellness already. That's why I did what is the good life for you. It was also a little tiny example of an activity we do in living the dementia journey. So I've kind of pulled that in for fun too. But what I wanted to talk about was in today's session, this guide. So this is the 4th guide developed in 2008 and redeveloped in 2020. Refreshed, I guess, sorry, I should say. Focused on how enhancing physical, psychological, and emotional, social, and spiritual well-being can help us live our lives to the fullest extent, even after a diagnosis of dementia. So the artwork created here on the front was by Brenda herself, the inspirer of all of the Biosporus guides, and she actually is part of the development team of each of the guides as well. So the guide starts talking about the physical, thinking about you are what you eat, it really says. So thinking about what are some healthy eating habits, some tips for that, your daily food intake. There's also a guide specifically called Food and Mealtime that can also be helpful. Then taking care of your body, so things to consider for your healthy body, cholesterol, blood pressure, rest, brain exercises. And then it talks about being active, so enhancing physical activity, climbing stairs, swimming, dancing, yoga, etc. Then it also talks about beyond the physical. So the first being centered, really great things that we talked about in the last session before with Vera. So psychological and emotional well-being. So things like acceptance of dementia, emotional release, journaling, and sense of purpose. And then participating in meaningful leisure, which we will talk about in a moment. Staying connected, so that talks about social engagement, support networks, moments of built-in happiness that we feel. And then living in peace, so spiritual well-being, right? Doing right by others, prayer or services, time with friends and family, solitude, etc. See a chat comment. Nope. So I wanted you to take a moment, and we don't need to have a conversation about this, but just to think back about, how you are already enhancing wellness as you talked about what the good life is. So something that you mentioned in that word cloud likely fits into one of these categories, right? We talked a lot about family, friends, nature, food. We did talk about financial, that would come into play as well. So really thinking about how you can enhance wellness. So a great resource specifically about well-being and wellness. Okay, and then to switch over, I wanted to read this quote for you, which is in we're moving now to this guide. So this is the Living and Celebrating Life Through Leisure, and this is in the guide. We also have this quote and talk about this in Living the Dementia Journey as well. So this quote says, "During leisure, my heart is at ease and happy when my mind is calm and when my soul feels like singing." This is why I studied recreation and leisure studies, because leisure is amazing. It's so good for our mind, body, and soul. And researchers have studied the connection between leisure and well-being and found that participating in leisure is one of the strongest contributors to life satisfaction. Continued engagement in leisure supports physical, cognitive, social, psychological, and spiritual well-being. So this guide talks about this guide was published in 2011 and really thinks about activities that, that leave us feeling good that are so important to contributing to our quality of life that everyone strives for. The cover of the guide, I'll hold it again, depicts the experience of being diagnosed with dementia as the eye of the storm. At the time of diagnosis, the world is spinning around, seemingly out of control. Over time, our experience grows to reveal a rich tapestry of meaningful experiences and personal understanding. So a really cool art piece that was created through some research that also helped to develop this guide. So leisure experiences that are personally meaningful fulfill a need in all of us, yet leisure means different things for different people. So when people living with dementia were asked what leisure means to them, what brings meaning to their lives, they identified a number of things. And each of these experiences identified what it reflects to feel truly alive and live life to the fullest. So being me, having space to express ourselves or simply being, finding balance, between relaxation and also keeping busy. Not too much of each is a good thing, having a good balance. Having fun, of course, right? Having pleasure, excitement, enjoyment, and so on. Making a difference. So having that sense of purpose and opportunities to contribute. Seeking freedom. So that break from the norm or from those restricted environments that we might be experiencing. Or day-to-day routines. Something as simple as maybe going for a walk. Being with others, in terms of a social nature, opportunities that foster a sense of connection and connection and community, and then growing and developing. So people living with dementia can still grow and learn and challenge the mind and body. And so that's important to note as well and to support. Oh, Allison, wow, amazing. Thank you so much. She said she just ordered them. Okay, so lastly, before I kind of wrap up, I want to go back to our mentee and ask you, whoops, that's not what I wanted to do, and ask you which of those is the most meaningful to you. So I'm going to advance this. So it should be the same mentee code and everything that you were already on. And again, you can put it in the chat if that's easier or if that's what's more comfortable for you. So if you had to pick one of those, I know I maybe went through those a little fast. I did put them at the bottom here. Which is the most important to you? So is it being me, finding balance, having fun, making a difference, seeking freedom, being with, or growing and developing? I did make it so you can only pick one, which is really tough, right? Oh, thank you, Cynthia. Cynthia put the mentee information in the chat as well. Okay, so we got a few coming in, being me, being the top runner right now, and also seeking freedom, being with and growing and developing, finding balance. Oh, here we go. We're going to have somebody for each, aren't we? Basically, overall saying that these are important to know, right? About a person, what really is valuable, but it also is challenging because we might have moments where we have leisure for different purposes, right? You might feel that need to make a difference today, and then tomorrow it's about just having a good time and having fun, and then it's about connecting with other people. So it's really important to think about these and how they're all really important, and they can overlap as well, right? You can have opportunities that have multiple of these within one leisure activity. And the leisure activity doesn't need to be this big thing, right? This big planned event. It can be spontaneous, like I said, just going for a walk, having a chat, having a quick cup of coffee, whatever it is, right? So, and then lastly, I want you to just think about this. Would whatever you put, would that answer change if you were living with dementia? Yes, no, or are you unsure? Always give that unsure option because you don't have to have all the answers. All right, we have answers all over. That's great. So some people say, yeah, it might change depending on where I'm living or what's going on in my life. No, it would be the exact same. I'll always be who I want to be and like what I like. And maybe you're unsure. That's a hard question. Just wanted to see and put your mind in that perspective. Okay, thanks everyone. I'm gonna wrap up here and then see if there's any questions. So would love for you to stay in touch. So we do have some opportunities for that. We have our RIA newsletter that you can sign up for, which is on our website. So in the about RIA, then contact us. We actually are getting a new website soon, but should remain in the contact us page. But feel free to sign up, then you can know what's going on and find out new things and stay connected. We also have lots of social media. So we have Twitter, Facebook, we're on LinkedIn. So please follow us, YouTube channel as well. And then I threw this in there because it's our only Instagram account, but it is a program I'm also involved in, and it's called Choice. And that is through our research on nutrition and aging. So we have a program where we're really trying to help make the most of mealtimes within care settings, mostly long-term care and retirement care settings. So little tips and tricks and things that you can do to try to change, to try to engage in more relationship focused and person-centered practices within the dining room, within that care setting. So feel free to give us a follow there as well.
Kara, we have a question in the chat. Cynthia is asking, do you have the same type of guides but in different languages and made available?
Awesome question. We are actually in the early stages of doing some translating, and I think it's also complicated because the word dementia is not always translated properly. So we have to be very careful with that. So we're in the very early stages of translation, but not currently right now, unfortunately.
Allison Coca saying, so interesting, educational. Thanks for the terrific presentation. St. Mary's Friendship says, love your energy, can hear your passion for life. I wholeheartedly agree. I love co-facilitating with Carrie. It's been a while since we've done so, but like you should see her when she's like full out doing workshops. It is incredible.
I enjoyed this today. It was more information than I usually do because our workshops are very dialogical. So we call ourselves facilitators for a reason. We're here to facilitate learning and reflection. And so that's why I, of course, had to add in some activities and some fun. So not that it wasn't fun, but lots of information to share with you. So I'm really happy that you were here and thanks for listening.
We also have a private message here. Would it be possible if you could send the slides, or you can give me the slides and I can send them out to folks?
Absolutely. Yep. Absolutely. And the links. Yes, I had the links there. I can put them in the chat as well. Where did the links go? So I had the RIA and MAREP, and then the Bias First Guides and Living the Dementia Journey as well. But yeah.
So for those who have access to or who are in this Zoom meeting, we'll have all of the resources and everything as well in the post-event email you'll be receiving in the next couple of days. So if there's no need to like write it down or anything, I'll send it to you.
Sorry that we told you that at the end. Last thing I wanted to mention is that we're having an open house at the RA. So if you feel like making a drive or you live kind of close to Waterloo region, come meet us. Come meet me. I'm going to be here 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. on September 16th. So as part of Doors Open Waterloo, we're opening the RAA doors and excited to meet people. So leave that on there too. Thanks, Mary Beth. And thank you, Allison. So nice to hear from you.
Yeah. If no one has any other questions, we still have some time. So I can imagine. It is a lot of information. I feel like this is something that all of us kind of knew already, but like.
Hi, I just
Hi.
had a question. Can I
Sure.
ask?
Of course.
Yeah, so I thank you very much for the very informative session. I really congratulate each one of you on the team who put this together. The main reason that I'm a little concerned is only about one thing, and that is, like the University of Waterloo, the area surrounding are really benefiting from whatever you are doing. I know many people across the world, Canada, are benefiting. But in GTA alone, I'm talking about areas. Sorry about that. I'm talking as I'm multitasking with the kitchen. Sorry if you hear any noises.
No worries.
So, yeah, I just would like to know what are the initiatives or are there any plans ahead to extend whatever you are doing here, the phenomenal work that you're doing to other parts of the GTA, like Mississauga, Brampton, Scarborough, what have you, like other areas, because I know you're catering to that area because you'll find a lot of people coming in there, but like an institution, brick and mortar, are you trying to find anything in this part of the town as well? Is my question.
Yeah, we do have a lot of partnerships. I wouldn't be able to mention them all as I'm not in full knowledge of it, but we do have partners all over the GTA. We're happy to have new ones come in. So if you're interested in joining a team, an advisory team, or being part of any kind of initiative that the RIA is involved in, please feel free to reach out. That's always an opportunity. And lastly, we do offer culture change coaching as one of our initiatives, where we come and we chat with teams and we do, an initial assessment and see where can we help to support you along your culture change journey, because it's such a journey. It's a process. It's never ending, and so there's always things that we can do together. And so that's another thing.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Thank you for your question.
Shannon, yes, I will be also sending the links to links that are on the slides. And again, this recording will be made available on the ESS website as well when we have later next week, but we'll let you know. We'll send an email.
I don't think I could quickly type them all in the chat there, but you can try going to just the RIA and then navigate yourself around and find some things. And then my email is also up there, but I'll put it in the chat. I'm happy to answer any questions or send you in the direction that you need from your question. And so feel free to reach out.
So thank you, Carrie, for such an informative session. It's so obvious in your way that you present and the way that you talk about this, that like you have so much dedication and hard work invested in making sure that like so much of the information is readily available to the community as well as everyone and its members. And just like the amount of investment in your time and compassion is really awe-inspiring. So we thank you so much, especially for ending off our summit. And I'm pretty sure everyone here is really thankful to have you today. So lastly, I want to thank all of you attending ESS Support Services' third virtual Positive Aging Summit. Stay up to date with ESS news, agency updates, events, and also any upcoming events that we'll be having in the future. We'll put the link to sign up in the chat as well as in the post-event email you'll be getting. So make sure that you sign up for our newsletter. We're also going to be sending out a post-event survey for your feedback. We just really want to make our event even bigger and better the next time we host something like this. So as a reminder, these sessions that have been recorded with the exception of Vera's this morning will be made available on the ESS website. And the contact information, the slides, and any other links and resources available will also be made available to you as well. So thank you and enjoy the rest of your day and have an amazing weekend. And again, thank you so much for attending our third annual Positive Aging Summit. And enjoy the rest of your days, everyone. Have a good weekend.